Dr. William Harrison, better known to us as Bill. Dr. Harrison was superintendent of Polk County, Orange County, Cumberland counties for many, many years. In 2009, he was appointed by Governor Perdue as the chair of the State Board of Education. He leads the Transformation Committee on the North Carolina Race to the Top. And he's also a professor at NC State University. And if you, any board members in here? Let's raise your hand if you're a board member. All right. If you deal with boards, you know it's like stray cats. They run all over the place. And Bill has had the challenge and the job of pulling everybody in and keep everybody going together as North Carolina succeeds. Bill is also involved in the charter movement. And I can tell you as a friend that he supports his organization, supports what you do in the charter movement. He cares for the best for children and the educators that are teaching and working with children every day. So at this time, if you'll give a warm welcome to Bill, thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Good morning. It's great to be here with you, and let me provide for you a little endorsement of my speaking. We've got two speakers on the program this morning. One is great and has some wonderful things to say, and the other is me. And with my daughter, a couple of years ago, I was speaking at a function at her school. It was a pretty big deal, and I was really excited about going to speak at that thing until my wife told me about a conversation she overheard between my daughter and one of her friends. And her friend said, "Caroline, I guess your dad's speech is going to be long and boring." And Caroline, being the great daughter she is and loves her father, she jumped to my defense real quickly and said, "My dad's speeches are never long." So, not sure about the other piece, but we won't spend a lot of your time. First of all, I want to thank you for what you do. Thanks for the efforts that you're putting into making it happen for all children. Thanks for being here. Thank you for your commitment. And I also want to mention our Charter School Advisory Council, and we've got three members sitting at the table here, Paul, Robert, and Baker. Not sure whether we have any other members with us, but the Charter School Advisory Council was appointed by the board, I guess in September or October. We had recommendations from the Speaker of the House, the President Pro Tem, the Governor, and one from the State Superintendent. And we brought them together, I believe, the first time in November. And I spent a little bit of time with them, provided them with their charge, and then we put them to work. And they had 25 fast-track charter school applications to evaluate, to assess, and make a recommendation to the state board. And they deemed 9 of those were worthy of getting on that fast track and going. So we'll have 9 opening in August of 2013. So I appreciate the seriousness with which they approached the task at hand and the thought and the time that they put. Robert mentioned volunteering, and these are volunteers, and the time that they devote to the children of this state is absolutely incredible. They were just in town and in Raleigh last week, I guess it was, and we had 50-some to 60-some applications, and I believe 25 will go to the state board. And my sense is all 25 will be approved by the state board because we simply value the work and the expertise of that group. So thank you to them. One of the things that I've always believed, and I believe this with all my being, is that the promise of public education is to provide all children with access to their dreams. And unfortunately, we've not delivered on that promise. And I also believe wholeheartedly that charter schools will enhance the probability of our being able to deliver on that promise. Now, I will say at the outset that I think in spite of much of the rhetoric that we hear today, I would argue that public schools are not broken, that public schools are doing better than ever. Every means that we use to measure student outcomes are better than ever before. Our graduation rate is the highest it's ever been. I think it's approaching, it may hit the 80% mark in North Carolina this year. Is 80% graduation rate acceptable? Absolutely not. So I will agree, however, that we're not doing well enough, and we need to do better. And we need to deliver on that promise of providing all youngsters with access to their dreams. We're doing a great job at what we were designed to do. Unfortunately, we were designed for a different age, we were designed for a different economy. As recently as 1970, to some in this room that was a long time ago, but that's when I graduated from high school, so that was pretty recent. About 65% of the jobs in this country did not require specific skills. So one could drop out of school, one could leave with a minimum level of education and find gainful employment. However, those unskilled jobs are disappearing and will quickly be gone. What it's taken us far too long to understand and to recognize is that one size fits all may have worked for the demands of the industrial age, but one size fits all doesn't work for the economy of today. It does not work for the economy. It does not work for the diverse student bodies that we serve. So our public schools must offer a variety of settings and structures for learning. And I think that the public charter schools are a very important part of that structure, of that variety of settings. Charter schools, we've seen charter schools experience great success. We've seen STEM schools experience great success. We've seen theme schools experience great success. We've seen early colleges and middle colleges experience great success. We've seen online and virtual opportunities yield great success. So we understand, and I hope we all understand, that one size doesn't fit all, and we need to expand the array of opportunities that we provide for our youngsters. Many of those innovations that I just mentioned have led to the increased graduation rate. Embracing and supporting innovation can lead to our ultimate goal of graduating all children career and college ready, and our delivering on the promise that we have for our children, all of our children. And it's interesting, I was thinking this morning, if it were 25 years ago when I first became a school principal, I would probably be sitting out there with you. And that might be hard for some to believe, coming from a man who epitomizes the educational establishment. But I spent 9 years as a school principal, and I spent 9 years wishing the central office would leave me alone and let me work with our faculty and do what we need to do for kids. I spent 18 years as a local superintendent, as Robert mentioned, in Hope County, the poorest county in the state, in Orange County, one of the wealthiest counties in the state, and in Cumberland County, the fourth largest in the state. And I spent 18 years wishing that the State Board of Education would leave me alone. And what we've done, I hope, in the past couple of years, is made a shift from a regulatory oversight body to a supportive, enabling body. That certainly is my intent, and I think that charter schools offer the opportunity for innovation. And I think that innovation can lead to policy changes that will help our traditional schools do better. We often hear that if we were free of this, if we were free of that, we could do better. I said, as a local superintendent and as a principal, if I were free of this, if I were free of that, I could do better. We're handing you the opportunity to be free of this and to be free of that, and hopefully we'll be smart enough when we see your successes that we will change some policies and truly become more supportive of innovation. So charter schools are truly a part of our structure of public education in North Carolina. You're a natural incubator for the innovation that I've talked. We want equity, and by equity I mean that all children, and all truly means all. Doesn't mean 80%, doesn't mean my kid, doesn't mean your kids. It means all kids. That all kids have the opportunity to maximize their potential. And finally, we believe in access, that all youngsters are entitled to a quality education. And we know that's not happening in all places in our traditional schools across the state of North Carolina. All children are entitled to quality content and quality instruction. And we need to find a way to make that happen. And to this point, we haven't done it, and you're playing a major role in helping us find that. We talk about success for all, and we truly need to mean success for all. Not success for some, but success for all. It's an economic imperative in today's world. But in addition to being an economic imperative, I think it's a moral imperative. We all know what we want. Those of us who have children, we all know what we want for our own children. I don't think any of us in this room would have our own children be part of that dropout statistic, regardless of what that dropout statistic is. When I was superintendent in Cumberland County, we got our dropout rate down to below 3%. It was the best of the large systems. It was the best, among the best in the state. It was significantly better than the state average. I used to speak to civic groups, and I would talk about that dropout rate and how proud I was of that dropout rate. Well, one morning I woke up and was looking in the mirror, and that's painful enough, and it dawned on me that 2.8% in that school system is over 500 students. So I'm out on the speaker circuit bragging that we're writing off a school worth of children every year. And that's not the right thing to do. So we have an economic imperative if we want our great democratic society to be sustained, if we want to be taken care of when we get older, if we want our children to truly be able to compete in this global market. That's the economic imperative. And then we have the moral imperative. It's simply the right thing to do. Those of us who are in the schooling business have a moral imperative to do everything we possibly can to ensure that every youngster gets exactly what we need. So to me, success for all, true success for all, is really what it's about. And I think about my vision for public schools in North Carolina, both public and traditional, public charter, both traditional and charter. That one day our nearly $1.5 million children will wake up and go to school, not because they have to, but because they want to. If we create schoolhouses, school buildings, school systems, charter schools, where kids want to go every day and they want to participate, they want to be actively involved, the probability of success is greatly enhanced. I think about our 5-year-olds, getting ready to start school. Seems like we just closed, but we're getting ready to start school again. And there's not a 5-year-old in North Carolina, there's not a 5-year-old in this nation whose parent had to wake him or her up to go to school on the first day of school. They're all excited about going to school, and they're all thrilled about the opportunity that they have to learn. And it really makes me wonder, what is it that after 10 or 12 years, so many of them disconnect? And they disconnect before 10 or 12 years. They just hang around until they're old enough to make it official. But sometimes it seems that the longer they're with us, the less they like us. And there's something wrong with that picture. We've got to make sure that all youngsters are in an environment that is safe and they're cared for. We've got to ensure that all children are in a school where they're involved with curriculum and instruction that is meaningful and engaging. And we've got to ensure they all have a probability of success. If those 3 ingredients are in place, our schools become places where kids want to be. So my dream, my vision, is that one day they'll all wake up and go to school, not because they have to, but because they want to. And I believe that the options that our public charter schools provide can help that vision become a reality. So thank you for what you do. Thank you for being here and taking this opportunity in the middle of the summer when there's so much going on to learn and grow and find ways to better serve the children you serve. Thank you.